Hey guys, I'm Olivia Vaz, and today we have a special guest, DejaBrew. He's the founder and head analyst at Oasis, and he's going to show us his top scanners to find his next trades and also some new programs that Oasis has for you traders out there. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Deja. He's going to screen share with us. Hey Deja, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
How's it going? Thanks for having me. Yeah, so I have a bunch of scanners. I use Trade Ideas. Small disclaimer, I'm not partnered with them or anything. I'm just a regular paying customer. But I use Trade Ideas platform. They give you basically the most robust scanning tool I've seen on the market because you can basically create almost anything you can think of in their platform. And I have a bunch of scanners that I like to use for my day-to-day trading. The main one that I like to look for because I am an options trader is the calls, and more calls scanner. So this will alert me on anything getting exceptional call volume, typically above like 200% of its average. And it will stack them based on what has the most call volume and then what has the best put to call ratio. So things that have like a very low put to call ratio basically just means that people are buying the calls and they're not really buying the puts, so they're expecting that stock to go higher. So I like to look for what names come up on that, and then I'll typically pull them up on my trading view and look at my indicators and see if it is a good looking chart. And I can also use that to find which specific options are getting a lot of volume. So like PayPal, for example, today got 240,000 calls. So this scanner doesn't tell me exactly which calls on the options chain are getting that volume, but I can go ahead and use my broker and I can find exactly which ones are getting a lot of volume. So if that's something that is, say, like very short term, like maybe it's expiring on Friday, that's usually a pretty good sign that the stock is going to move rather quickly. And then I've got a bunch of other scanners that basically are just momentum scanners. So I have like a short squeeze one, which actually came in handy recently, especially with the move on GameStop, Nokia, BlackBerry, a bunch of these big names that have been kind of down in the dumps for a while. They were popping up on my short squeeze scanner before those massive moves even started happening, because I scan for anything that is seeing a lot of momentum that has very high short float. So anything over like 30% short float, and that's getting pretty good momentum on the day, that will pop up on my scanner. But yeah, moving on, I have a couple of more momentum scanners here, just standard high of day. So things that are hitting high of day, I can be alerted on that. And when these pop up, I just quickly just click on them and look at their chart to see if they look really good. They all look kind of bad now because they're after hours. And then I have a couple of breakout scanners down here, things that are up 50 cents or more in the last 5 minutes with good volume. These will typically be big name stocks, anything over 5 billion market cap. So like Pinterest, Peloton, Snapchat are a couple of the ones popping up here. This scanner helps me find things that are like bottoming. So they have good momentum, but it's not things that are just breaking out higher. It could be something that was down on the day and then it was bottoming a little bit, but then it started bouncing really hard. That will come up on this scanner here. And then this scanner on the right is more of a breakout scanner. So this will only show me things that are breaking like high of day or breaking resistance with very good volume. So that is another momentum one. And then I keep a couple of charts here for SPY and Qs, because if you're a day trader or even a swing trader, you want to stay in tune with the market. So you always want to be watching the main indexes. So I keep them on my screen at all times on the 1 minute chart because I can see all the action happening on the 1 minute. So if it's getting a lot of buyers, if it's getting a lot of sellers, is it trending upward, trending downward? And I typically try to follow the flow of the indexes. So if I'm looking at day trading something, if the indexes are just bleeding out, I'm probably not going to day trade that because the indexes are weak. But if they're very strong and they're trending upward, that's kind of giving me the green light to go ahead and day trade.
So Deja, do you use these scanners mostly for day trading or can we use them for the long term as well?
So I use them mainly for if I'm trying to find options for short-term plays, like typically within 2 weeks, so swing trades. if I'm looking for day trading, I will typically use the momentum scanners. So anything that has like really strong volume or breaking high a day, if I pull that up on my trading view and it has just a really clean chart for a day trade, I'll typically day trade that. But I've actually been swing trading more recently than I have day trading. Most of my trades probably last anywhere from 3 to 5 days to a little over a week. But I try not to hold them for too long. I'm not a very patient person. So I try to get in and out of things as quickly as I can. But if it takes a couple days to play out, I'll go ahead and hold on to it.
Do you ever short stocks? And if you do you like doing it through options or just using it through straight up shares?
So I actually have not been shorting for a while. Because the market's so bullish, I try to stay out of that realm. And I've actually been switching into shares recently because the market has been a little unpredictable for my style of trading. So when the market gets to a point where it's not just buy something the next day you're going to make more money, which it was back in like June and July, you could basically buy anything, go to bed, wake up, and you're richer.
Hmm.
The market's not really like that anymore, so I'm switching a little bit more to shares because shares are safer, and I try to avoid shorting in massive bull markets. So I haven't been shorting recently, but if I were to short something, I would probably just use puts, or I would sell calls as like a credit spread.
Hmm.
So mainly using options.
I know a lot of people got in trouble using options with GameStop.
Yeah, GameStop, people were shorting that basically all the way down to like what was it, $4. And it's funny because the GameStop scenario, in hindsight, it was very easy to see it because it went from like $4 to, let me see, like $22 before it really started going up very massively, all the way up to almost 500.
Mhm.
So it gave an opportunity for a lot of those shorts to get out, but none of them really did. The short float remained about 140%, basically all the way up. So a lot of those guys, which were institutions for the most part, because everyday traders don't really short anything. It's mainly
Right.
the institutions that do. They basically held almost all the way up, and a lot of them they lost a lot of money because of that.
So we'd like to know, or at least I would like to know, how do you follow what hedge funds are doing?
That I look at block trade scans over here. I'm looking for block trades are basically just massive share trades. So I have two scanners here. One is like medium size, anywhere from like 250,000 shares to 1 million. And then I have a scanner that does over 1 million shares. So typically, right at the bell, as soon as 9:30 strikes, you will have a couple of 1 million size block trades come in. And these are typically on big name companies like this one. Let me pull these up on today. Today we had a few come in on, I believe it was, Apple. So Apple had a bullish block trade right at the bell. And we can see that this is bullish because it says it's trading above the market price. So
Mhm.
when these block trades come in, they don't tell you if they're buy or sell. So you don't really know what's going on because they're shares, they are equally a buy and a sell because someone has to sell that person the shares. So we can only determine if it's a bullish or bearish block trade by where it's trading in that range. So if it's trading above market price, that is typically bullish. If it's trading below market price, that is typically bearish. So Apple's a good example where this came in right at the bell as a bullish trade. And let me check Apple. I believe it had a good day today. Yeah, so today Apple opened up. It sold off a little bit at the open, but then throughout the day it ran pretty hard with the markets. So with those orders coming in, you can see kind of what the big players are thinking for that stock. And we'll see things come up where they'll have a massive block trade, and then not even like 10 to 30 minutes later, a news announcement comes out. So we can see
Wow.
these like big players buying the shares. Walmart was a good example. Like early on, I think it was like April or May, we saw a block trade come in, and they had an announcement come out, and they jumped like 15% or something ridiculous for Walmart. It was like 5 or 10% within the next 2 days. Um, so we saw that coming in basically right as it happened.
Is there any other detail that makes a block trade really stand out to you?
When we see big names coming in, especially if they're coming in repeatedly, like if I see a name on here, come in like back to back on the 1 million scanner, I'm definitely going to add that to my watch list and keep an eye on whatever that name is.
Well, that is an awesome way to follow the markets. I can't believe you're sharing that with us. You've gathered an amazing team of analysts, and I'm sure they watch these and add their own analysis for more precise trading at Oasis.
Yeah, so we have right now. We actually brought on a bunch of new analysts in our group. We actually have 10 analysts in our channel now, and they all have their own style of trading, and they look at their own things. But we all come together in voice chat, and we call things out, and we tell each other what we're looking at, why we're looking at it, and it really helps having basically a room of people that are not all trading the same exact way. A great example of that. Let me see if I can switch my screen over here. So a great example of that was just today. It was FMAC. We had one of our traders alert us to some news that was coming out on, this is one of the SPACs. So for your viewers that don't know what a SPAC is an acquisition company where they basically start at $10 and they have like rumors come out of companies that they're looking to acquire or they're looking to partner up with. And those rumors basically drive these companies much, much higher. And there was a rumor with this company today that it was looking at acquiring or partnering up with Discord. And we all started getting in this at $11, basically right when our analysts told us. And this thing just absolutely went on a tear. And it actually went as high as almost $15 after hours. A little pullback here after hours, but that's typically what you'll see on something that ran that hard.
Man, that's right up your alley. I mean, a Discord SPAC? You're the king of Discord.
Discord is our main platform, so hopefully if they acquire them, they don't make any big changes or anything.
Yeah, I mean, you're always shouting out some of your cool trade success stories. So how do we get ahead of this?
Yeah, we have a new tier that we just launched for our Discord, which is a $30 tier. We did it because our higher tier is a little pricey, $199 a month, which comes with live trade alerts, our live trading floor. You get all of our different analyst channels. We have tutoring, indicators, etc. But for a lot of people that can't hang out in voice chat and they can't be with us throughout the entire day, we wanted to make a lower tier for the traders that were just looking for analysis. So we went ahead and launched a $30 tier, which is $30 a month, and it comes with a daily watch list, weekly watch list. We post things that are looking really good that come up on my scanners throughout the day, basically every day of the week, Monday through Friday. We also post some crypto stuff every now and then as well.
So Deja, you sound like a pretty skilled trader. I'm going to put your skills to the test. Pull up a chart of GameStop and what do you see here?
Yeah, so GameStop, this was a train that you really needed to be on while it was on the tracks. It's not on the tracks anymore. This thing got completely derailed. So I do not recommend trying to chase this because basically the thing is with stocks like GameStop, Nokia, these stocks that were trading at a certain range for a very long time, and then now they're breaking out of that range. This is happening because of increased exposure, right? The people are starting to see it. It's coming into the spotlight. The momentum is coming up. The volume is coming up. So you want to be in when that momentum is there. Once it starts to lose momentum, you really do not want to be in these stocks. We're calling them meme stocks. They're basically a bunch of memes right now. But a great example on GameStop is you saw a massive volume spike while GameStop was ripping higher, but then the exchanges started halting them. So that is just basically stopping the momentum dead in its tracks because the momentum cannot increase if they are halting the stock. So once they start halting it, you want to avoid trading that because it's not going to be able to push up to 400, 500, 600 as it was before. So right now, the only thing that would make me want to get back into GameStop is if we reclaimed, like I'd say 110, 120, like if we saw a really nice bounce here and it got back above the monthly VWAP that we saw back in January, that would be something that I would look for. But even then, I would keep a very tight stop loss on that, probably like right below 95, 90-ish, and I would just let it run as much as I could. And because GameStop gave you so many gaps it gave you kind of easy targets. So if GameStop were to actually reclaim that level and kind of sustain that move, your easy target would be a gap fill there, probably to like 225. So the risk to reward is there. This could be a big trade. You risk like maybe $20 to $30 to the downside, and then you're looking at over $100 to the upside. But the only way GameStop would run here is if Wall Street bets and the people that were pumping it, they started putting a lot more money back into it, and all of the restrictions were lifted from the different brokers, which I think they're slowly being lifted. If I'm not mistaken, Robinhood and TD Ameritrade have lifted their restrictions.
Yeah.
There's just no volume though, so the train is already off its tracks, and it's going to be hard to get it back on.
All right, thank you, Deja. That is DejaBrew, head analyst and founder of Oasis. Make sure you follow his YouTube, Twitter, his Discord. He has a lot of great information for you traders out there, and we'll see you next time. I'm Olivia Vaz.